Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. I'm so happy you're here. Today we're talking about the Jess Pham tea that just dropped by the Mom Enough podcast. Yeah, so she interviewed an ex-neighbor from Jess Pham, and apparently there's some tea in here. I got a lot of people that sent me this video, said I should take a look at it, support another creator who's out there doing the work. I love it. So let's take a look at this video. Okay, so before we get into the podcast, just want to take a look at Jess Pham's channel. I haven't taken a look at it in a little while. I haven't done a Jess Pham video in a little while because she's boring and she's a loser and nobody likes her. But let's take a look. Is she still doing well? I think she is. I mean, this is her full-time gig, for lack of a better term. But yeah, so here's her channel here. 1.8 million subscribers, and she's been online for over 10 years, so she's had slow growth over the years. 19, so views are 19 she's down. Okay, what's going on here? I can't read this properly because I get all messed up. So her views are down 9.2 million views. Did she delete a bunch of videos? So for over the last 28 days, she's got 1.6 million views, which is decent. She makes good money. She still makes excellent money. That's probably $20,000 to $30,000 a month. No joke. 20, more like 20. The max that she's made on her channel is 317 million views, which is a lot of cash. But yeah, as far as her growth is concerned, let's take a look here. Yeah, this is what you're seeing over the last 28 days, over the last 3 months. A tiny bit of growth here over 1 year. Like, just, she's not going down, but she has plateaued here for a few months. Hasn't grown a lot. Yeah, that's a major plateau that she's hitting right now. So she's not... She's reached her peak. Let's be real. And probably when she was 17 as well. So she's kind of done, but she's just gonna coast and float because she still makes more money than most people will ever make. There's nothing that she can do in her life that will make her more money than this. Okay, she still makes tons of money on TikTok, on Instagram. She still makes lots of money. Just not what she once was. Now, I did an interview with Janelle a while ago. It was one of my biggest, most watched videos, actually, where Janelle gave us the tea, made some allegations against Chris and Jess, against Chris specifically, that no one seemed to care about. It's quite crazy that these boys are living with a guy who essayed somebody, and no one seems to care, right? Chris is a loser. He plays video games all day and spends money. Doesn't have a job. He's a loser, okay? Jess is a loser too. She can't keep friends except for Sunkissed Butt Jam for some reason. I have no idea why. But very, 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 but has no friends, has no supporters. And even Kira, in the videos she did with those, you don't see her really supporting her. She doesn't have any support. Jess Pham is a selfish loser. Okay, she's a narcissistic dweeb. Nobody likes her. She doesn't take care of her kids. Everything's about Jess Pham. Okay, and she's built like a K car. Okay, but all that to say, there's lots of people that have a lot to say about Jess, and if people actually came out with all the real tea, you guys would be so surprised. Of all the stuff we already learned, and it's crazy what we've learned. Like, that's nuts. And what have we learned? We learned that Jess Pham is likely low-level alcoholic. She doesn't watch her children. She does not ask her children's permission for anything. She doesn't watch her children. Her neighbors hate her. Her friends hate her. And the only people that come and support her are people that she can make them money, or she pays them to be around. Okay, she's a Disney adult with crazy problems. She's talked about her threesomes and foursomes and sexual escapades on the internet, even though her channel is mainly aimed at teenagers. She's going to embarrass her kids, and she's a loser. That's what we know about Jess Pham. So when someone said to watch this video, I said, let's do it. It is quite long, so I don't know if I'm going to stick, I don't know. We'll see what the tea is. But let's see if we can get Mom Enough podcast here. I don't know anything about her. Subscribe to her for sure. Let's see if we can get her up over 1,000 subscribers, get her monetized, because this is pretty big. This is a pretty big deal. This video, you get a scoop like this, it's pretty important. So Mom Enough podcast has 750 subscribers, and you need 1,000 and 4,000 watch hours to be monetized. With 12,000 views, I think she's close to 4,000 watch hours. You can get her monetized. So head over and subscribe to Mom Enough podcast for doing this video, and let's have a listen. I'm not going to put the picture up because it's the picture of the family, but it's just one picture. There's no video. It's just an audio podcast. You're going to have to look at my ugly potato head for a little while.
I have her ex-neighbor here with us.
Hi, I'm the ex-neighbor.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. Nervous. How are you?
Same, because this is my first official podcast.
It's a good scoop for your first official podcast. Be interesting to see how this person who doesn't have a large audience scooped this, honestly. Good for you, though.
Nothing like just getting right into it, right?
Pretty much. So just for clarification for our listeners, you were Jess's neighbor from Modesto, correct?
Yeah.
I think Modesto's 2 houses ago, right? I could be wrong. I think it's 2 houses ago.
Last house she lived in Modesto before she moved to Sacramento or something along those lines.
The classic bounce house.
Ooh, the Bouncy Castle house.
If
you don't know the Bouncy Castle story, it's Jess Fam has like cameras all around her house, everywhere, because she doesn't watch her children. And we know that because one of her kids almost died jumping in their pool with concrete edges. And she's like, look, he jumped in the pool. She had to pull up her cameras to see that. You let your kids swim without you around, that's absolutely insane. You should lose your children. That's crazy. My kids don't go anywhere near the pool unless an adult's around. Ever. Okay? That's crazy that she let... Anyway, they had a bouncy castle, like a commercial-sized bouncy castle when there was massive fans, and the neighbors called because it was a loud noise, and it was like constant during the day, and she got all upset, and she's like, how dare they? What do they want my kids to do? I don't know, something else?
When a lot of people really wanted to know this, I'm not sure if you were around the kids a lot, but a lot of people want to know... Did you ever overhear the kids talking about not wanting to be on camera or that they didn't like it?
I have 4 kids, and my kids played with her kids almost every single day after school.
Okay, that's pretty legit then. You're gonna get to know them.
After homework and stuff, they'd all kind of meet outside and, scooters, basketball, all that jazz. They kind of always gravitated towards my house. There was a basketball hoop out there. The kids freely played out, and I would sit out and watch them because I was nervous. I don't trust anybody with kids. I've had one of her kids stay the night at my house, and it wasn't so much as, like, I don't want to be filmed, but it was more like, my mom does nothing but sleep all day, and then when she gets up, all she does is film, and that lady is a hot mess.
Again, she's had the kid at her house. She said my mom sleeps all day. I believe that. Jess is always like, oh yeah, time is at noon while she's getting ready. This woman, she claims to be the super mom, but she just takes her kids to dance and soccer at the end of the day. Maybe Chris gets up with the kids in the morning and it's his job, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, let's be real. She's the breadwinner. Okay? So Chris is getting up and helping the kids and all this stuff. Maybe. But, like, she makes it seem like she's a good mom. We know that she's absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know how to respond to that because I completely agree, but I'm not going to say that to her child.
Yes. Now I will ask which one said it.
Lilia.
It was Lilia.
Obviously. It was like 4 years ago. That little kid was like 2. You think that other little girl's sleeping over somewhere?
That honestly does not surprise me because she did fall off of the channel for a minute. I know she didn't really want to be filmed, but now I notice she's back. So I don't know if she's kind of over not being filmed.
Maybe Jess promised her money.
Or if she's been pressured into it and like is being bribed.
That's likely it. I've said this a million times. We've heard it a bunch of times from kids who have left these channels that these kids are coerced and guilted into doing these things because, like, well, we can't go to Disney or we can't have this, you can't have that, this bike and trampoline and soccer field and pool. We don't get all this unless I do this. These parents absolutely guilt these children into doing this. You know they do, because who has children, right? They lose interest in things all the time, even if they're like interested in something for a couple years. The kids just don't stay interested or focused on one thing. Very rarely. And these people can go on there for 10 years, for Lilia's entire life. And you think she's just been like, yeah, this is good, I'm a hard worker. No, man, sorry. Nope.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure. I mean, I don't know. That part I can't say for sure, but just like watching, that's what I feel like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I get that vibe from all of the videos. Like, it honestly just seems fake and forced.
Obviously. It's
extremely fake. It's just like, perfect family persona, perfect stepkids, perfect kids, perfect everything, and it's just a bunch of baloney.
Yeah. When these kids get into their teens, and again, this isn't against the kids, but it's who their parents are, and like the sexual escapades and the essaying and the drinking and the partying and the selfishness and everything else. These kids aren't parented properly. These kids are going to fly off the handle when they're old enough. Okay, they are going to go bonkers, and it's going to destroy her.
Did you ever hear Chris and Jess fighting?
No, but honestly, I hardly ever saw Chris outside of the house. I can only
This guy's playing video games 24 hours a day.
remember like
Surprised me either.
yeah, I can only remember like one night. The kids were playing. It was like a summer night, and the kids were all playing. Like our whole neighborhood had tons of kids, and they were all playing out later. But several of the parents were sitting outside, so it wasn't a big deal. And I saw him sitting out, and I thought, oh my God, that's so rare. I've never seen him sitting out here watching the kids play before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was. And then, like,
Jess Harris probably sleeping.
my kids would go play with her kids at her house, and then they would come home and say, like, oh, well, he was, on the computer the whole time, or he was playing video games the whole time. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Look, I love gaming, like, not crazy, like Tyson knows, but damn. I couldn't, like, this guy sounds like he's been gaming for 10 years. Like, even Tyson, who's an avid gamer, it's okay, he's good at it. Even Tyson, like, takes up hobbies and does other things. He'll play video games for, like, a couple hours, and then he'll, like, or weeks or whatever, and then he'll, like, go fishing. Tyson's an avid fisherman right now. He's doing really good. And, or he'll make beats for a week, and he'll get, like, looped into making music, and it's like, he's balanced in so many ways. I'm just taking it because my son's a gamer. But it sounds like Chris isn't balanced in any way. It sounds like all he does is game. That's it.
That checks out.
I don't know if you saw the interview with Janelle and what is his name? Josh from
Nice.
Dad Challenge podcast, where she said the same thing. Basically, that Chris is not involved with the kids.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he's literally like just playing games all day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Janelle,
it's
look,
almost like it's like
Janelle knew her onions. She literally was there, like, was best friends, worked, did everything for her, cleaned her house. Go watch my Janelle interview. It's really good.
a free ride, and he can play video games as long as he appears for a couple photo ops. Then
Yep.
job well done.
Yep.
Yeah, looking like the happy
Oh.
couple. But what I
Yeah.
have noticed, his last birthday, a lot of people noticed this on her Instagram. She didn't do the long, heartfelt, oh baby, I love you
Oh,
post.
Uh-oh.
It
Oh,
was
yeah.
just
Yeah, they're not together. They're not in love. They're just together for cash. He's there. Like, if he left her, what's he gonna do? Get a job? He gets to play video games all day. Okay? She lets him sleep with other women. Like, come on. Like, he, like, that, who would do that? Even if they, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh. Sorry, I do this just because I have one for my car. But, like, he's not going to leave her, and she's okay with him sticking around, because if he does, eventually, like, she's not going to push him away because she needs it to look perfect for the internet, right? He's not going to go away because all he does is play video games and he has no responsibilities. So they're together because it's mutually beneficial, not because it's good for kids, or they're monetarily mutually together. That's it. Just for cash, for the business side of it.
Chris would probably go after alimony, and Chris doesn't want to lose his free ride. So,
right. Yeah,
I think they'd be getting a divorce. There's too
I don't
much at
think
risk.
so.
He could, that's the truth too. He could be like, look, I'm out of here. And she'd have to pay child support, not him. She's the breadwinner. And he has enjoyed a certain life for the past few years. And a judge will take that into consideration and be like, well, he's lived this way. He's helped you around the house. He's done the electrical or whatever. And he's done his part. And you can't just leave him hanging. She'd have to pay for his life. There is no way. I mean, maybe. I don't know, man.
Yeah, unless she got extremely desperate and really needed something to make a video about, I don't think their marriage is going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Speaking of Chris, so I don't know if you heard also with Janelle that allegation of during one of his birthday parties, he forcibly kissed her.
Yep.
Did you ever see him flirting with other women or trying to like grope them
Well, she just said she only saw him once, so I don't think that's...
or anything?
No. Well, first I have to tell you that I absolutely love Dad Challenge podcast. Let's just put that out there. And I
let's put it out. Thank you.
watch them regularly because I love.
That's awesome because that means that her neighbors are watching me. And then maybe that's why she moved to a remote location because she doesn't want her neighbor. Like, yeah. Here's the thing that I like about being karma for these people is because they enjoyed the little bit of fame that they had in their little corners of the world and all that stuff. And then when I honestly believe sometimes they probably don't want to tell people who they are because if you do Google them, if you do put them on YouTube, my name pops up half the time. And that's kind of a taint for them. Like I've tainted them. And a lot of people who cover them have tainted them as well. I'm not just saying I'm the only one who does it, but like, good. I love that. I love it.
On his snark. I for the most part I watch all the videos that he does, especially about Jess. But I had only been around him a couple of times, and it wasn't enough for me to ever see anything like that. So I can't say. Do I doubt what Janelle says? No, but I can't say for my own self that I know yes it's true or yes it's not true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I believe Janelle. We believe women, right? Janelle has no reason to lie about that stuff. She wasn't making any money. She was just like telling the truth. And like that was a side thing too. It wasn't even a big when she dropped it, we were all like, "What?" But like there was other truth bombs in there that were like, "What the heck?" And so she is like, of course she's upset. People are like, "Oh, Janelle's just mad." So I hate that excuse when people are like, "Oh, you're just mad." So yeah. Okay. Here's the truth then. If that's what it takes to tell the truth, so be it. Then I'm cool with it. But like, we believe Janelle. We do. She's no reason to lie about that. She didn't press any charges or anything like that. But she was the one that was in their threesome that they talked about. So maybe she felt like a little bit of ashamed of it. I don't know. It's just we know that Janelle was the threesome partner. One of them anyway.
Well, there was a rumor going around that apparently they were known in that neighborhood to have threesomes or to get with other couples and stuff. Do you know anything about that?
I don't because I'm very much, married to my husband and my husband only.
I feel that. I don't share.
Yeah, no, I am far too territorial and I'm mean and I've peed here and it's mine. Thank you very much.
Right.
That's awesome.
What used to be our innocent neighborhood block parties turned into everybody's drunk. Yeah. Nobody's taking care of their kids.
We know that Janelle said that too, that Jess Femme would do lots of these parties and no one would take care of the kids. They didn't have any bedtimes or anything. They would get literally just disgusting drunk. I'm glad that her mom lives there because likely her mother didn't do that. But these kids, there's chaos. Jess is full chaos.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they did something like that because they had zero filters, zero respect for anybody in their neighborhood for sure.
Yep.
I don't know if it's okay to label it, but they would drink and party a lot. A lot. And it was always in front of the kids. Or all of the neighborhood kids would be there and all of the adults would be drunk.
Yep.
That's insane. So there wasn't anybody sober watching the kids?
Nope.
Somebody had asked in the Reddit that I had post my announcement in for this podcast. They wanted to know if Mimi was there watching the kids because we all know Mimi wouldn't, do all that. At least it doesn't seem like it.
But I don't think the mom actually lived with them in Modesto till the end or something like that, right? So maybe she didn't even live there. And so, yeah, that's a relatively newish thing. She hasn't always lived there. So, yeah, these kids, again, I will judge you, okay? If you get drunk all the time and you have parties and stuff, even not all the time, sometimes, and you don't have someone to watch your children while everybody's partying and drunk, you are irresponsible.
So somebody did want to know when they were doing their parties and everybody, was drunk and stuff, if she was there at least watching the kids, or do you know of anybody that was actually sober and responsible watching the kids?
So my kids went to one of her Halloween parties. I ended up being sick that year and I felt bad, so I let the kids go down to the party against my better judgment. I had walked the kids down to the party and I dropped them off with Jess, And she was like, yeah, they'll be fine. Just leave them here. Go do what you need to do. And at that point, nobody was drunk. It was just kind of like, even I think some of her kids' school friends were there. So it was really like calm, cool, collected. Kids were just running around playing. Not a big deal. I think I left my kids there for, I don't even think it was 2 hours because I was just not for it. So I walked back down and grabbed my kids. And at this point, there was a lot less adults, and all of them were drunk. I didn't see Mimi at all. It was, I don't know if she had gone to bed or she had left. Maybe when the alcohol comes out, she leaves. I don't know. But I didn't see her, and the kids were still running around like crazy in the backyard. And all of the adults were just sitting at the table, glassy-eyed and drunk.
Yep.
Talk about irresponsible.
That's my childhood. It is irresponsible.
It got even worse after she moved, honestly, because our neighborhood was really big on a 4th of July block party. Everybody came out. They would put, down at the very end, they would put like a bounce house or slip and slides. Like, it was a big deal. Everybody would barbecue and put stuff out. Well, after they had moved, they came back for the the very next 4th of July party. And so we were out front. Yeah.
You're
and
not
I'm like,
welcome here. You don't even go here anymore.
why you drove that far? Okay. But we were out front and our kids were, running, playing. At one point they had like water balloons going. It was really cool. And then as the night went on, she was with this group of girls that were all like obliterated.
Yep.
And they kept going up and down the street, and then somebody would cry and they would go. It reminded me of like a junior high dance where the girls would like follow each other around to the bathroom, and then somebody would cry because there'd be drama.
Yeah.
And they'd storm off to the other person. It was the weirdest thing. And so they kept going up and down the street all night. And like I said, they were all out of their minds drunk.
Mm-hmm.
No one knows where her kids are. Like, they're just all over the neighborhood. Thankfully, there was plenty of, like, neighborhood people outside watching the kids. And then they finally, like, at one point, it was pretty late, they had gathered all of their kids, loaded up in the van to go home. She was, like I said, completely drunk. And I don't know about Chris, but he was part of the little, like, back and forth runaround group that was doing all this weird drama stuff.
Get it.
So I'm like, were you also drinking and then you turned around and drove back to Sacramento?
She's saying, were you? And we know that they do like to drink and party. The smart thing would have been for him not to drink at all, but it sounded like he was drinking, and she's accusing them of drinking and driving. And I wouldn't put it past them either. I mean, these people are crazy. Like, I believe it if they did.
Like, at least take an Uber or something, or have somebody
or be sober.
Drive you. Like, be responsible about it.
I don't even feel nice, like, saying this or saying a name, but one of her kids used to run the neighborhood naked.
Oh.
What the heck? What? Why would you let your kid run around a neighborhood naked, especially if your kids are famous? After the video we just did yesterday, too, about that crazy guy. Why would you that's insanity to me.
And yeah, and it got to a point where and it wasn't like...
That is so trashy. I'm sorry.
Somebody drops a diaper and takes off running for a second and like mom or dad grabs them. It was like outside naked all the time for hours on end.
What?
Addie came down to my house to see if my kids could play, and she like knocks on the door. And so my daughter opens the door and decides like that she's gonna hang out at the screen door. So Addie's on the outside and my daughter's on the inside. She thought she had found a loophole. Obviously it was not, but whatever. So they're like hanging out, and I walk by the door and I realize that she's sitting there naked, and I'm like, this is weird because I don't know how.
Yeah, you don't know who's in your neighborhood. A kid just walking naked. Literally just walking around naked. That's insanity to me. That's CPS level. Call the Child Protective Services. That's insane. Like, not like pants, at least shorts, something.
But she ended up staying on my porch and visiting with my daughter for like an hour or hour and a half, totally naked, before any of her parents came looking for her. And they had no idea where she was or what she was doing. I don't even know if they knew she was naked.
That's one of those I have no word situations.
Doesn't even know that the kids run around. Oh, I didn't know you were naked. What? Who's? There is no way. And this sounds like it was what, 4 years ago? She was what, 3, 4 years old, running around naked in a neighborhood you don't know? Again, that's insane to me. Whoa.
And that's very rare for me.
Wow.
It was such a weird situation to be in, because obviously I didn't want to make Addie feel funny or feel like she was in the wrong because her parents weren't doing their job.
True. Yeah.
It was so weird. And so all I could think was, well, if she's up on my porch, then half of the neighborhood can't see her. And at least I know
feel like
she's
Jess is
right
lucky
here.
that she used to live in that neighborhood that is hard to get into or hard to like navigate.
Yeah, like it's not a public neighborhood, is what she's saying.
Because
Yes.
if that was any other neighborhood, Addie would have been kidnapped easily.
Yes. It was, I don't know, it was just so weird.
that's
And when
bonkers.
other neighbors were stopping and noticing, and then at one point they came to my house and they were like, oh, she's naked. And I'm like, yeah, but she's not mine.
Yeah.
So don't
Not my kid.
try to blame that.
Although, I mean, if at some point you're gonna be like, look, Addie, you're not supposed to be naked. Like, you don't have to shame her, and I get this, and I know what she's saying. It's not her place, because Jess Fam would cause drama if she did something like this. Someone told my kid what to dress like and all this stuff. But like, at some point, I'd be like, look, can you? Or I would talk to my kid and be like, can you tell Addie to go home and get changed? Maybe put a shirt on or something, some pants. That would be great. Just like, I would not be comfortable with a naked child that's not mine on my porch. Sorry, I'm not comfortable with that. And she's obviously I'm not blaming her, putting any blame on her at all. I'm not saying that. She's obviously not comfortable with this, but at the same time understands that you don't want to because they know Jess's drama, right? And they know she has a platform, and she has used it multiple times to call people out. Remember one of the first early videos I did where she got in a fight at a Panda Express, and we called them out. Called her out, and like she has called many people out on her channel all the time. She had arguments with teenagers about COVID on her channel. That's insane. So I wouldn't, like, if I would, I'd mess around. I don't give a crap. But some people don't just want the drama. They don't want it, and they know that she represents that.
And her kids had free reign. They could go our neighborhood, the side streets, the back neighborhood,
Naked.
and just
Running around naked in a street is unacceptable anyway. Doesn't matter how close you are to the house. Shouldn't even be in front of your own house. Your backyard? Okay, it's your backyard. But you shouldn't have a naked child running around. Like, that's unbelievable. Nobody's that stupid.
and just go, and she didn't care.
Wow.
Whoa, I don't care if there's any other tea. That's it right there. That's bad right there. And people are like, some comments are like, oh, I didn't hear anything. Like, there's some tea. That's craziness.
And had no idea that her kids were at the back of the school, 2.5 or whatever blocks over, and no idea what they're doing or any of it.
No idea.
I just can't.
I know.
We know that.
That's what...
In any other normal situation, okay, but you're not. Your kids are famous. You are a famous entity, and people are seeking you out. Likely knew where you lived. You have big, giant Jess Fam license plate on your truck. Like, they know where you live. Like, it's just, there's no precautions being made here for the fact that you are a little bit famous. Okay, that's scary.
Like, go by her house while Janelle was there, and they were taking those photos of, I think it was like sharing a glass of wine or something like that, but separate from each other.
I remember that.
Yeah, no, total BS. Because after the photos were done, they were sitting next to each other drinking the wine. And like hanging out. And her kids continued to play outside with everybody, knock on everybody's doors. Like, there was no COVID stop for her.
Yeah, I just didn't care. I don't think she hid that, though, did she? I mean, so yeah, what they're saying, she made content around the fact that she's socially distancing, but she was lying the whole time. Okay.
It was, and anything that she had posted, like those photos, were absolute BS.
That gets me questioning why she really stopped talking to Janelle, because her excuse was she was working at the hospital and she didn't want her to bring COVID around.
Yep.
I don't think that was it in the least.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that now. I do remember that Jess was saying like, oh yeah, I didn't want her around because she worked. Yeah, that's exactly it. But then they lied about it. She's lying about it. The heck?
Like, not everything has to be content. Like, live in the
Jess's whole life is content. I mean, it's how she makes her money.
moment.
Okay, wait, I have a perfect example of that. I cannot wait to tell you.
I can't wait to hear it.
So, our kids have been playing together for quite a while, and my son and her son Landon got off really well. They like to play football, basketball, whatever. Well, then we got hit with, I think it was like 3 or 4 days of just downpour rain, and nobody could play outside. Obviously, I knew it was affecting my kids because they were, what's that called? Where you're locked in the house too long, you start to go berserk. They were doing that.
Stir crazy.
So I had gone over to her house and asked her about getting the kids together to maybe go bowling or, to like an arcade or something where they could still hang out, but not in the pouring rain. Mm-hmm. And all she kept doing was asking me, have you seen my newest video? Did you watch my newest video with the part and this happened? And
no, she's such a self-promoter. Again, that's why I don't think it's safe to have your kid run around naked. You're a self-promoter. You want everybody to know it.
Did you see the video with the part and this happened? It was so funny.
No.
Have you watched it yet? You should watch it.
No, no thanks.
Oh my God. But
I don't do that. I tell people not to watch my show. Some do, and some keep up, and I'm like, I'd rather you didn't. I like when you watch. I'm not saying that, but like people close to me, I'm like, it's not for everybody. It's what I say all the time. And like, because most of my past are people who come from church. Okay, they're most, and some of them are awesome about it. Some of them are like, I love it. I watch it. I have family vlogging. I love it. And they know me. But some it's like it's just not for everybody. I'd say that, I warn them, and still those people that you think are going to be the ones who judge you the most are like, I love it, Josh.
You already know it's fake.
Yeah, and I'm like, I am not gonna like follow you around the block and be one of your followers. No, thank you. That's why her and I never like hit it off as mom friends, because I am the furthest thing from falling in line and I don't know, being a follower to a liar.
I couldn't do it. I have met her once in person. She was actually at Universal with Amber. That's when she was still with Gabe.
Oh, really? Okay.
They got divorced.
Oh, when Amber was with
Gabe. I happened to be at a little overlook.
Man, if Amber ever dropped the tea, oh my gosh. The things that Amber knows, but she's being a bigger person, which I respect. But one day I hope she's not. One day I hope she's just like, you know what? F this. And I hope that she talks to me about it.
Look, where the escalators are, and I actually heard her coming. That's how loud she is.
Heard her coming.
Just obnoxiously loud.
Oh,
and at the time, I was still kind of not completely anti, So I did say hi. She was very,
hey!
I don't know what
do you like my video? I like.
Just hyper. And I'm like, dude. And then
take a breath.
Amber seemed very just out of it. She looked really sad and just like...
I can tell you this. Amber doesn't like Just Fam. Amber didn't like this whole thing. Hated it, actually. Went along with it. Didn't like it. Didn't like Just Fam either. Like, hated Just Fam.
She was there, but not there, if you know what I mean. Yep. Gabe was just like,
had to, because of Gabe.
He was cool. Chris, though, I got a really weird vibe from him. He literally looked me up and down and gave me like a weird look. And then he looked at my husband weird too. And I'm like, what the hell?
You're like,
creepy weirdo.
We will not be your next foursome. Thank you very much.
Ew.
Yeah, it was like I was nice because I wasn't completely anti-Jess yet or whatever.
Right.
I was like, hey, but she was just really hyper. And I was kind of like, wow, how can someone do this like 24/7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or is she acting like this because she's out in public?
That's why. No, she's no, she probably like that. I think Jess Fam is who she is on camera, and she's insufferable on camera. So I think it's who she is. I think she's worse off camera as a person. And so what she does show us is also insufferable, but she's worse also. And like also doesn't parent and sleeps till noon, and he sleeps till noon. The kids run around naked in the neighborhood and they don't actually parent their children. And like, yeah. So she's way worse off camera, but is also a douche on camera is what I'm saying. When she goes to her kids' dance classes, she becomes part of the mom's dance crew and has to dance in front of her. Like she always has to steal the show even from her children.
Yes. And when she got drunk, it was 1,000 times worse.
Oh,
God.
Could you
Yeah, so then
imagine
picture that.
being around Jess as she's drunk? Oh, that's okay.
Going up and down your street nonstop with a group of girls who were also drunk.
Oh, Jesus, no.
Yeah.
Oh, she's probably so obnoxious. She probably looks for fights. She's looking for drama. She probably like wants to like again start shit with people. Absolutely, that's who Jess Fam is.
Oh, I forgot to tell you something about one of her parties that did piss off the neighbors.
Oh.
Let me hear it.
It was later in the night of the party, and like I said, everybody's drunk. I don't know the human who did it, but at this point, like kids were running up and down the street and all of this kind of jazz. A man leaves her party drunk and walks down the middle of the street peeing everywhere in front of everybody.
Who's that?
Oh,
And it's
my.
a grown man.
That's indecent exposure. Not allowed to do that.
In front of kids.
In front of
yeah.
kids.
Like, because the kids were like up and down the street running while all the adults were still in the backyard, and it was nighttime. And had left the party, and I'm assuming had a little too much to drink, but is walking down the middle of the road just peeing.
If
Oh
he
my
would have
god,
got
that's
caught
gross.
for that, he would have literally
Yeah, it's in jail.
had
You're
to
in jail.
be registered.
Yep.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Dang. Who was it, Jess? Who was it? Imagine what those kids saw inside the house then. And the behaviors that they're witnessing when their mother's drunk. And the fact that they get to run around and be crazy and all that stuff when their mother's crazy. Right? So they know that when the drinks come out, they can get whatever they want, do whatever they want, and act however they want. And that's the behavior that they're learning. That's what they're, oh man, it's so chaotic. I don't like it.
No, it wasn't her responsibility because he's a grown man, but that's the kind of people you associate with and have around your children?
Yep.
Right? Is Jess confrontational? Like,
Yes.
has she
She
ever
had to fight at a Panda Express.
tried to pick a fight?
She picked a fight with 4 teenagers on the internet and argued with them live. I interviewed them. It's crazy. Go watch that. That was bad for Just Fam and Sunkiss. That was bad. She knows it too.
Then, like one of her sons had a really expensive bicycle. I only know this because my husband likes bikes. I know nothing of them. But it would be like left outside, left in the yard, left down the street, left on the
crazy.
neighbor's front yard.
Kids have no value of anything because they're just spoiled rotten.
And it was no big deal. Like if something happened to it, we'll just buy a new one.
That definitely teaches the kids that they don't have to take care of their things.
Yep.
Oh, and they didn't. There was always, every toy that they used throughout the day was always left in their front yard until the next day.
She's
Wow.
one of
They would
those.
leave them-
She's one of those.
Like at my house, and then my kids take a scooter or a bike and like roll it back down to their house and put it up on their front porch. Like it just, I don't know. Everything just always seems replaceable to her, and it was really
Including friends.
weird.
Especially when it comes to people. I still feel bad for Janelle. She was going through so much, having to, she up and moved away from her daughter, and
Yep.
she like really needed a friend at the time, and she was going through her mental health struggles, and Jess literally said, "F you."
Yeah, she was like, oh, I just need a follower, so if you're not gonna like follow, then scooch on.
Yeah, it was pretty much, you're not, benefiting me right now because you're going through some stuff, so I can't deal with this.
Yep.
Yeah, and if somebody found out you were going through stuff, you might make me look bad.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, like that's exactly it. I mean, that's how you know they're legit and they know what they're talking about. That's true because Jess has like rotates friends and they get the hierarchy inside of her channel in her life, and however much they give her or suck up her farts through their nose, she has them closer, right? And when they're no longer useful to her, those people catch wind or they have a busy life or whatever, and they don't want to be a part of it. She's like, no thanks. She's a user, Jess a user.
Well, I know what, Jess does, so maybe, I can get in on it too and make this kind of money.
Yep. And
100%.
And Jess would
she,
promise those people, she's like, I can help you grow your channels, and you could do this too. Exactly what it is.
She was so snotty and rude. It's ridiculous.
I'm actually kind of surprised by that one, but then I'm not. Because I didn't even realize she was like that until the video during COVID when her and Jess ended up cussing out some teenage girls.
Oh, I don't think I ever saw that one, but that
Oh, it's bad.
that doesn't surprise me in the least.
I don't remember, was that Rosalind or was
Nope.
that before she stopped talking to...
That was Sunkissed butt crack.
I'm trying to think. I think it was Rosalind, but comments will be on for this. So if anybody knows exactly who she was with, you can comment and let me know. But I do remember the video. She was with someone and a couple teenage girls had called her out.
What? I need to see this one. This one I might actually watch.
Go watch
Yes,
it.
for being, I guess...
Anti-COVID.
not, following the COVID restrictions and stuff and like taking the trips and stuff that
Yep.
she was doing or whatever.
And lying about it.
Like they called her out on it
And they were fans.
about lying and she like went off on them. If you feel they're wrong, just correct them. You don't
It
need
was
to yell
crazy.
at them.
Right? Or, maybe...
No, they were right, though, for the time. They were right. We had all these rules, and Jess Fam was... the thing is that even if Jess Fam didn't believe it, she could have just said that. But Jess Fam was like following the rules on her channel and doing these things and social distancing, but at the same time traveling and doing all the things. So she was just lying about it. So she was a fence sitter, and whatever was convenient for her, she did it, and then she got called out for it. So just take one side or the other, but Jess wouldn't. And that's who Jess is, politically too.
Maybe don't be a liar, and you wouldn't have people calling you out for being a liar.
Exactly. And, it come to find out she wasn't following restrictions, so they were absolutely right.
Yeah, and then tried to make them look like the bad guys, and she played the typical victim,
Yep.
and she got to make a video.
And like, my grandmother died. Like she kept saying it. Oh, it was crazy. If you haven't seen it, go watch my video on Jess Fam and the teenagers. I interviewed one of them. It was crazy.
Speaking of playing victim, did you know anything about the incident that happened in Panda Express?
No, but I did watch that video.
I was hoping you happened to be there or something.
That
The way
was
she made it
fantastic.
seem was that, as far as I know, or as far as she made it seem, was that I guess Addie was playing on like the bar thing where like you stand and wait, and she was swinging, and I guess some lady called her out and told her she wasn't watching her kid or something.
Which is true.
Well, truth hurts.
Right? And I guess she went off and made it seem like she was being attacked and like all this other stuff. She probably wasn't
It was so bad.
watching her.
100%.
It wasn't. She doesn't watch her children. She doesn't care what her children do. Even if the children are there, she doesn't care if they're off the... Like, her children are like feral cats. They do whatever they want and just like, oh my God, they're free range. That's Jess's way of parenting. She thinks, as long as they're not like super bad, they're like, yeah, you're doing okay. They just doesn't... It's crazy. Like, I can understand if your kid's swinging on a bar. I get it. I understand, like, don't talk to my kid, talk to me. If my kid's bugging people, I'd be like, come on, chill on. Right? I'm not going to be like... my kid's completely innocent no matter what. Jess is like, if you call our kids out for doing something wrong, she'd be like, oh, how dare you? But if your kid's being a dink, they're being a dink. Kids are dinks.
She wasn't, because they never got watched. They never had structure or discipline. And they were probably acting like wild animals.
Someone did mention they wanted to know what happened. I forgot about this cat. What happened with the cat that they had when they were at that house?
He's mine now. His name is
Oh,
Kaiser.
really?
What?
Mario. Yeah. She had made a video about finding this cat, or I don't remember her story. But he was in our neighborhood. I think she had him for a total of like 2 days. And then they were going on a trip or going somewhere, and the cat got booted out the front door.
No way. You absolute asshole, Jess Fam. Why would you take it in, do videos about it, and then just kick it out? That's disgusting.
Food on the porch, no water, no nothing. So he ended up on my
What the hell, Jess fam?
porch begging for food and water, and obviously I opened the door and let him in, and he's been here ever since. But I had told her, like, hey, I have your cat. Addie had named him Pepper, which we changed, but it was like oh my gosh, haha, how funny, you have him, that's great. Not like can I get my cat back, or, thanks for caring for him.
And she never did a video about it ever again. These people stop at nothing for the content that they create. They'll take anything in their life that's content, even if they're going to kick the cat out afterwards. But she definitely capitalized on it. That's don't hurt animals. Like, that's damn. Don't hurt animals. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't. Oh,
Wow.
what a dickhole.
I'm surprised she still has the animals that she has.
Everything is content for them. Everything, and they get stale, and it's like, oh, this thing happened. Content.
I mean, I don't know if this is off topic or not, but you said Grammy, so it sticks with me, because I have lost people I love, and I'm sure plenty of other people have. The last thing I'm going to do is pick up a camera and make a video about the most heart-wrenching loss that I'm going through.
And that's the thing that separates creators from people that are like, and these people, they'll still will literally capitalize on anything, including death, injuries. Like, they don't care. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred. And it's kind of gross. It's disgusting, actually.
It's just so disgusting, and let those poor kids deal with something in private.
Yep.
Nothing's ever private, like the time that she posted about Lilia's period.
I know.
That's disgusting. And if you, like, when I put my tags in, I have this little tool that I pay for that helps me, like, get, like, tags that are trending and everything else. And when I do a JessFam video and I'll type in the word JessFam, it gives me the tags to put in, right? He's like, these are the most popular tags. It's a really great tool. When it comes to JessFam, Lilia's period is, like, number 2. And it's disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting.
Very disgusting.
I wanted to vomit. That poor girl.
And I know you'll get what I mean when I say pedo baiting.
When you say what?
Pedo baiting.
Yep.
Basically, when they...
Yep.
Did you see the video?
She has her kid naked, shows her underwear. JessFam does it all the time, and she knows what she's doing. And unless she gets a ton, and I mean a ton of pushback, she won't respond to it.
Where, I don't remember if it was Kyson or Caden, but the what I ate in a day at Disneyland.
I didn't see it, but I saw people online talking about it with screenshots and stuff. Yes.
Certain things like that, she knows what she's doing.
Without a doubt.
It's sick.
It's so sick.
It's literally baiting. Like, and then, they go and look for children's photos and they will alter them.
Oh, yeah. Or look for them in certain positions or movements or something. I learned all that from Dad Challenge. How you can see, like, what part of the videos have the most interaction, and it's just...
You can scroll and it just says the most rewatched part of a video. It's a little bump and it says it there usually, and it's always going to be something inappropriate for family channels. Always. It's never not. It's always something like the mouth open and panties, swimsuits. It's always that. Always.
It's scary and disgusting.
Yes, they do it on purpose to get views from these people because they know that it'll get views. Even though, like, how Jess deleted that photo of Addie, it's still out there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, somebody's got it.
Yep.
Once it hits the internet, it is there forever. No matter how much you think you've deleted it and gotten rid of it, it is there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And that's, it's scary and it's disgusting, and I don't...
And after my video yesterday, dude's got it.
My bet is that Lilia is going to come out with a book or her own YouTube, and she is going to spill it all.
Could you imagine? Oh,
and I'm going to be here for it.
Oh, with the popcorn and ready to... We should have a viewing party because...
I hope she hears this so she knows. Girl.
We have got your back.
We have your back, girl. If you ever want to put it all out there, It needs to be put out there, though, because
It will. Look, Jess has a lot of enemies and makes more as her life goes on. Hey, Tainties, are you gonna go peep somewhere? Do you not? Come here. Oh, the Tainties. The Tainties. She's not so tiny anymore, is she? Okay, and she's a princess. She won't go out if it's raining. Guaranteed I'm gonna get up after this. It's gonna be pee over there. Ugh. We literally have in every room of our house a bottle of Lysol and a giant roll of paper towels. She is getting better. It is getting better. But she is a princess and hates the rain.
me, I get in, my depressed mood and I see all these vloggers having these perfect lives and going on these perfect vacations
Yep.
with, their perfect relationships. But really, it's nothing like they show.
And the kids suffer because of that. The kids are seeing something fake and it's gross.
It's
Right.
the complete opposite. Well, I don't remember if it was Christmas or her birthday. He had bought her some really expensive Apple earphones. And
no.
she pretty much tossed them to the side and she was like, "Why would you buy me these? You know I don't use stuff like this." And she posted that.
Yeah, she's gross. She's an idiot.
I feel like I remember that vaguely,
Plus,
oh my
anything that
God.
Chris buys for Jess is with Jess's money. He doesn't make any money.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to do anything. Like, they even used to have someone come and clean their house.
I was actually going to ask
Oh.
that. Did you
Interesting.
ever know of her actually cleaning, or because I know she never really posted any cleaning content like a lot of other vloggers do. I've never seen her post cleaning content until
She's not clear house. And I don't think that she says she does. But
recently, because Tally is doing it. Sun-kissed mama.
God.
oh, does she pay Talia to do it?
She follows just like white on rice.
lost puppy.
That is a
Yes.
very weird relationship.
Yeah,
But,
that is weird. And because it started with stalking. Dude, that's why it's so weird. She stalked her and now they're best friends. Come on, man. Are you looking for murderers?
Did Jess clean, or did she have someone come in and do it?
She definitely did not clean. Her house always looked like a tornado ran through that thing. And then one time my kids were they were either at her house playing or we were walking by, because when we would go walk and do our nightly walks, we would end up passing her house. A cleaning lady had come. And so she tells my daughter, like, make sure you don't tell anybody on YouTube that you saw how messy my house is and that you saw that I have a cleaning lady, okay?
Why? That's weird.
Wow.
Who cares?
And I was like,
Jess, we know you're disgusting. We know you sleep in. Well, now we do. We know that you don't do anything. We know that Chris doesn't do anything. I mean, you can afford a cleaner. Who cares? Like, we have a cleaner. Okay. But why she have to... That's the thing. That they have to lie about all this stuff. So they can appear to be something that they're not. It's really weird for people who are wealthy to flex their wealth in certain ways. And then in other ways, you're like, but we don't have a cleaner. We don't. No, you don't. Why do you care?
I never saw her. I don't know if she came around to that house or not. I do remember when they had that big, like, surprise party for Jess and all those YouTubers came into town. But I can only tell you a very few that I know that were there. I don't watch a lot of YouTubers, but it was like Brittany and Baby and her husband.
Oh.
I don't remember.
You know, and that's Brittany and Frank, Brittany who recently just got called out for porn and everything else and tried to get that taken off the internet. I'm pretty sure Brittany and Frank probably were part of the foursome group. Yeah, probably.
Seems solid.
If you can film pornography and put it on the internet, likely you got a little bit of a thing.
But yeah.
I'm trying to think if she was there or if she really was like friends with her yet. I would actually have to go back and check. But that relationship, that one's creepy. She even admitted stalking Jess in Hawaii to meet her, and now they're like BFFs. But they're
that's
BFFs because she kisses Jess's ass.
Exactly.
Yes, she falls in.
It was advantageous for her to do that. And then enabled other people to do it. Remember when she got stalked in another place because they knew where we were and they went because they wanted to be famous vloggers too and they tracked her down and it's like a whole video about it. It's like, I've covered it. It's disgusting. She enables the behavior.
Per usual, nobody was watching or taking care of the kids. And they were all down at my house, and the only adult to walk away from the entire party to check on the kids was Brittany and Baby's husband. I cannot remember his name,
Frank,
to save my soul, but he came down and
I
was like,
can't
hey.
either for some reason.
Yeah, and I haven't seen her videos in so long that I couldn't tell you. But he came down, and he was like, hey, I just wanted to check on the kids and make sure everybody's okay, and, you're okay with them all being down here. And I was like, yeah, they're just playing. It's fine. He was so polite. And the only
and
adult
then made porn.
to come and check on kids.
Well, I'm glad at least one out of the 100.
Exactly.
There were quite a few there that day.
Yeah, that's why I was so shocked. I'm like, really? One adult? Okay.
That's insane, though. And I'm not
I
going to
don't know
overshare,
if
though,
that's
either, and post my kids for everybody to see.
Right. Yeah, I know. My 13-year-old is obsessed with making and editing videos. She'll do transformation videos, or she'll do restocking videos. And she's really good at editing them, and she gets to use them for part of her art credit for school. But I refuse to let her upload anything, and she is so mad at me for it.
Oh, wow. It's
Let her be mad at you for it. That's good parenting, because you know the danger. Let your kids be mad if you don't let them post. Okay, let them be mad. They'll thank you later, I promise.
I'm protecting you.
Yeah, it's a scary freaking world out there. And the last thing I'm going to do is let my kid post something so the Dad Challenge podcast can snark on me. No, thank you. I'm terrified of that man.
Right? That's how you know you made it.
There you go. Snark away, man. I would be like, call me. I'll help you snark on myself.
Right? I will put myself out there for you. I don't have anything to hide, so go for it.
I like that I'm the boogeyman for people who exploit children. I like it. I'll wear that badge with pride. That's what I started out doing. And if that's what I've become, so be it. If I strike fear into the hearts of family vloggers for doing what they're doing, good. That's good. Anyway, that's the end of the interview. That's a great interview. Obviously, I skipped through a bunch of that because it was it's a long podcast. Very interesting conversation. No boring parts. Go listen to it yourself. Give her a view. Mom Enough Podcast. Currently at what is she at?
Scary freaking world.
762 subscribers. Head over there, get her up to 1,000. Okay, good scoop. Interview with the neighbor. The neighbor is hilarious and had a lot to say and seemed very credible to me and wasn't overly I hate her, just giving the opinion. It was great, just like Janelle's interview. Great interview. We learned a lot. We know that Jess Femme had a cat, got rid of it and didn't feed it and uses everything for content, is disgusting. Might have called the cops on herself. There's just so much in there, so much gross that Jess Femme is. It's all going to come apart one day, and we're all going to be here to see it. So everybody, take a deep breath. Wow. Jess Femme, you're some kind of douchey. Loser. Don't watch her. Guys, don't watch this garbage. It's so bad. These kids are suffering through all this, and it's only getting worse for them. But thank you for being here and for being a part of these conversations. And neighbor, I don't know your name. Reach out to me privately. I'd love to talk to you. But thanks for watching my show, and I appreciate you guys for being here and being a part of these conversations. They're fun sometimes. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're snarky. Sometimes they're not. But this was great. And Jess Femme is just full of lies, and we know it. And our kids are suffering. But the running around naked thing, Jess, stop that. You gotta stop that, idiot. Anyway, thanks for being here, guys, and I will see you when I see you.